The article subjects the assumptions and prescriptions of the corporate culture literature to critical scrutiny. Okay, so they're talking about a piece of writing. Subjecting something to scrutiny is to investigate it closely and in a rigorous way, scrutinize. Um, so they're talking about an article of some kind that's about examining something very closely. It's examining a body of literature that is other writing about corporate culture as an idea. Then they turn to the body of the article, that is the main substance of the article. Like, what is most of the space in the article devoted to? What is it used to talk about? Is and and this is where devoted to works, because if you're talking about the focus, you would have to say is focused on, is devoted to, is perhaps given over to, could work as well, or is dedicated to. So it's got to be a verb that can work with to, and with that, um, yeah. So yeah, so the if something has been found to do something else, it means something different. The body of the article is found to be about. It would have to have a different. You couldn't have this ing form as part of the phrase. It's devoted to teasing out. So what it's devoted to, what it spends time on or space on, is teasing out the distinctive basis of its appeal. So teasing out is a kind of, you're imagining that they're pulling out each of the threads. They're kind of making sense of it by pulling it apart, teasing it out. You're imagining it being like teasing out someone's hair so that it stays up. So this is the literal meaning: to use your fingers to gradually separate hairs that are stuck together.
Yeah.
But that can also be like teased hair. Um, but it also, in metaphor, it means to get information or understand something that's unclear. So you're teasing out the meaning or the distinctive basis of its appeal. That is, why do people like this idea of corporate culture compared to, or compared with, in this case, earlier ideas, earlier management theory?
Yeah.
So we're trying to figure out, the article spends most of its time comparing two things, um, figuring out what that comparison means.
Yeah. And
Okay, so practical autonomy is conditional upon the development of something. So to be conditional upon means that it depends on that as its condition. So to be conditional upon is conditional upon. It's a particular, it's I would say it could even be idiomatic. It's a phrase that is just used in that way. Is conditional upon or is conditioned by. Um, in this case, it means it depends on. So it is seen to build upon earlier efforts. That is, yeah, that's right. So one thing is a condition of the other. The development of a corporate culture is a condition for autonomy, practical autonomy. Um,
and what is the meaning of practical autonomy here, actually? I
I
don't know.
don't, it's some idea from management
That's
theory.
great.
Yeah,
We
I
don't
don't
care.
know.
We don't
I
care
th
to.
I think it means that if that your organization can do what it likes.
Yeah, that's great.
Um,
Yeah.
or maybe it's about employees, actually. Maybe it's about, you can leave your employees to do their own jobs as long as there's a strong corporate culture.
So Adam,
To draw parallels is to make a comparison, or even to see an analogy. So to draw parallels, or to say that parallels are drawn with, it's again one of these phrases that is kind of used as a whole. So it's not, it works as a verb, really. Drawing parallels is comparing
yeah,
or
comparing.
finding analogies. Yeah.
So we are comparing what to what?
To this end, parallels are drawn with the philosophy of control favored by the party. Okay, so parallels are drawn. The comparison is between that philosophy of control and whatever was discussed in the previous sentence.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so the paper illuminates the dark side of this project by drawing attention to the subjugating and totalitarian implications of its excellence quality prescriptions. Okay, so this is still about corporate culture as a way of understanding management. They're saying that the paper compares corporate culture as a way of doing management to the philosophy of control in Orwell's novel.
Yeah, great. And also why this one is correct, I mean constraint. I mean, how do you know this one is fit and this one doesn't fit?
Constraint is a negative effect, that is to hold back. So in the full context, they're saying that corporate culture as a way of doing management holds back or negatively affects autonomy, negatively affects opportunities. So that they systematically constrain opportunities. That is, like, they stop them or strangle them or prevent them
So
in some way.
what is your idea about double think? Means that think twice.
It's from George Orwell. It's the idea that there's a way that things have to be said for them to be politically correct. And so you have to think, everything has to be thought in two ways at once.
Two ways.
That is,
double
how
think.
am I allowed to speak about this or think about this? How do I really think about it? So it becomes a kind of constraint, a self-censorship.
Have you heard about constraint opportunities before?
Yeah. So holding back
Constraint.
opportunities. Yeah.
Constrain opportunities. Okay. To wrestle with. I don't wrestle with competing values. Okay. Yeah. I got it. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate that. Yeah.
No worries.
Yeah.